last time where we ended, you just arrived at the Gallery Moriarty. This huge steel box with a glass ceiling. Very bright in here, Naomi. You can't actually use your heightened sight in here without getting blinded.
Ooh.
Obviously, you don't turn it on because you wouldn't know. This is a large room. There's not many people here. It's filled with about 16 paintings. Naomi is currently standing around the middle of the room. It's sort of being parted into different sections by walls, half walls, I want to say, or like these. I don't know what you call them, but you hang a painting on them. It's like their own little niche or section. There are 16 paintings in total of various Gothic art and some very dark themes. But the three initially that you notice or that piques your interest is one that's called The First Murder. It's a guy piercing another guy's chest with a spear, and it's sort of from the perspective of a dream, or if you're perceiving it through underwater. So it's blurry. It's definitely its own art type. The second is called Suffering Intuition and Darkness. It's three women standing side by side. The woman on the left is an old black-haired woman with a tattered dress. You can see the wrinkles on her skin. Her face is very weather-worn. Her hair is messy and unkempt. The woman in the middle is beautiful, also dark-haired, and she is covered in a dress that looks like it's made of plants. And the last on the right is a blonde woman, and she's wearing a dress with arcane symbols. Looks like something right out of a fantasy novel. And when you look at them and think about it, they're positioned. So the middle of them, if you draw a line, it creates a perfect triangle. And the building, there's more paintings going further down, but that's what you can see from where you're standing as you come in. And Elaine is turning towards you and just slightly waves at you guys while she is finishing up her conversation with a gentleman in his 60s. Bald, very nice suit, very I want to say looks like a politician. And I leave the scene to you.
Vaughn goes over to one of the paintings and just sort of kind of like looks really closely at them, sort of like investigates them. Would just like reflexively or passively with one occult, would Vaughn recognize the very clear Kane reference? Do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot about the third picture.
Oh.
The third picture is called Dreams Destroyed, and it's simply a burning city near a sea of some sort. And to you, it's to all of you, it's clear that this is Cain and Abel, and the city would most likely be Carthage. Very famous for it, for the burning itself. It means something different to vampires. But the last one, you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure who the women are supposed to be. But the Cain and Abel one for sure. Um, it is even called the first murder.
Yeah, Vaughn just looks at the Cain and Abel one, just kind of like smirks, like, "Oh, that's a little bit on the nose." Doesn't just kind of looks at like the one with the like three women and just sort of like, okay, it's probably just some vague Renaissance painting, and then just stops and stares at the burning city one. It just seems focused on that with a very grave face.
So you're sort of out to the left. They're in a triangle on each wall, kind of.
If there's a conversation to be had with these other kindred in the room, I'm Vaughn is assuming that others will take charge in that. He's less interested in them as opposed to the whole gallery.
Are you walking around, or are you just focusing your attention on that picture?
Like focusing on that picture, and then to kind of taking a few steps back is still focusing on it, and then just sort of then meandering through the rest of the gallery.
I guess I'll go through the rest of you.
Yeah.
JK, what are you doing? What's your what piques your interest in here?
He's gonna go over and study more the painting of the three women stood together, because it seems like it's somehow connected to the masquerade and everything, but at the same time, it's obscure. If that makes sense.
If you want to, you can roll an occult and intelligence.
I would love to.
I will also allow you one if you're really interested.
No, I'll leave that to JK.
Five.
5.
You are pretty sure that these are the three aspects of Lilith,
Okay,
who is
makes sense.
to some the first mage, to some the first vampire, to others the first Garou. I mean, every supernatural tribe, or whatever you call it, they have their own interpretation of what Lilith actually is. Now that you are looking, I want you to roll a resolve and aspects. Or is it wits when it's passive?
It varies.
Uh,
It's over a long time. I think it's often resolved. That's my pitiful understanding of the rules.
Oh, it's wits. It's resolved when you do it actively. Okay, yeah. So unless you already rolled, then we just go with it. Crit and 5. That's your night.
Nice.
Clearly, very clearly, the paintings themselves are not magical, but they're linked with magic, and you get a clear path, like a direct line to the back of the room. You can't see what the line goes to, but you can follow it to the source of the magic if you want to.
I'll start slowly heading for it, but unless I see anyone else also like start moving, I'll wait.
It's a crit. It's some kind of wart. Naomi?
Being in the gallery, I take names. I open like a small sketchbook and start writing just the names and dates of like who's the artist, the titles, and then each date that it was produced. And then assuming the medium's all oil paint, probably,
Yeah.
of what they're made with. Yeah, okay.
You
And
only
then-
get the names of the pictures.
Okay, so there's no descriptions.
There's no artist or anything. It's just a gold-plated sign beneath.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you again what they're called?
No, actually, I'm good with that. I do want to. So normally in art galleries, you can actually take pictures as long as there's no flash. So I document each and actually text it to JK. just for record, right?
Yeah.
Beyond that, I basically like go to him and then say like, "What do you think?"
JK is very occupied at the moment.
Okay.
He's looking around. It looks like he's scanning, and he's heading towards the back of the Great Hall.
Okay, she attempts to like keep an eye on him, but like, I guess she doesn't want to say anything because it could trigger like a dog whistle. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all she's basically doing.
Alex?
Alex is going to stride into the gallery with his usual style, like he is meant to be there. This is the way he walks into a lot of places. Like he's supposed to be there. And he's going to do two things at once here. He's going to take in the pictures that the rest of the coterie members seem to be interested in and look them over. He's looking them over for two reasons. One, of course, he's interested in them, particularly the one picture of the three women. And he's also interested, he's trying to figure out how much, if any, or of a masquerade breach they might be. Because that's important information. He needs to know just how much of a breach this is. A painting of Cain and Abel, that can be found most places. Depending on what it looks like and what exactly it's depicting and everything can cross the line a little bit there, but and Carthage, most people know that story too. The three women could easily pass for a triple goddess painting.
It's something Edward Munch he usually would do as a painter, so it's very common to paint a three-aspected, and there's no tag that says it's Lilith. Right, exactly. You know what it means, but yes, exactly. He doesn't. Yeah, he knows immediately what it means. There's not even it comes pretty quickly to him, and he recognizes it and focuses on it more than the other two. Also going to think about the selection of these three paintings here, because they're very different. Out of curiosity, how are they arranged? You said that they're arranged in a triangular formation. What is at the top and to the left and to the right? As you walk into the room, okay, you would have Cain and Abel to your left. Okay. And you would have Carthage to your right. Okay. And in front of you, not at a wall, but like one of those big paint walls that you can hang it on, like just it's a section on its own, is the picture of or the painting of Lilith. Okay. So it's or it creates a triangle that covers the entire entrance area. Right. Okay. Good to know. And you are standing in the triangle at the moment. Yes. And nothing happened. Yes. And I am also going to take note of JK's behavior, since it seems like he is doing his own thing a little bit. But he's also keeping an eye on Elaine, because right now, I mean, she basically made it very clear that she needed them here right now, tonight. And Alex is still a little bit curious about that. Her sire is apparently here, or at least that's the message he remembers getting. And so this is not a normal meeting, and he's keeping an eye on her and the way she's talking to this old man in his 60s. And so he's kind of like keeping his eyes on the room here and paying attention to a lot of different things. He's noting the paintings, their arrangement, everything like that, looking for that masquerade breach, but he's always keeping an eye on her as well, and wondering what it is, what this meeting is actually about. Killjoy? It's not your usual scene, but maybe you can appreciate it, being an artist yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Killjoy is happy that everyone else walks forward, and doesn't skulk behind them, but is definitely keeping eyes on them and glad that they're all ahead of him rather than behind him out of sight. Still, of course, nervous, and he licks his lips, though no moisture comes out, and just kind of bites a little bit, and his fingers tremble a little bit near where his gun is at the back, but he's also relatively oblivious due to his background and nature to some of the more occult aspects of vampiredom. So he sees Cain and Abel, he understands that. But looking at the three women, maybe they're witches from Macbeth. Yeah, that is completely over his head. And so he walks past probably everyone and is very much surveying the scene, looking for dangers, looking for other exits. This was a steel box. That's the one way out. He wants to know for sure that it's safe, and if there's any people watching and observing, any cameras, anything like that.
You can see a fire exit further down the room and a door, and there could possibly be more at the very back of the building. And as you stand there, you hear a voice next to you. It's a woman's voice, and you just hear "Champagne, sir." And there's a young woman, probably 21 or something, standing very nicely dressed like a waiter, with a tray of champagne glasses.
What year do you know?
Oh, then the storyteller becomes confused.
The champagne. What year? Vintage?
85.
I suppose. I'm assuming then you worked here for a while, Miss.
Oh, a couple of months, but I have experience.
How is it working amidst such splendor?
It's you meet a lot of interesting people, sir.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, and I'll kind of cheers the glass to her and get her to leave.
Have an excellent night. And she sort of goes to the next person who's not holding a glass.
I go find Mr. Kairos immediately, and I will give him the glass. Okay. I think this is for you, as you are our supposed leader. What is it that we're doing here? Sorry.
It's a great question. And he takes the glass, thank you, and enjoys it promptly. Drinks it and enjoys the taste of that champagne.
It's confused as Killjoy.
You can see him savoring this glass, and the fizzy and everything like that, and just you can tell it does not taste like ash to him. It is he's still very much savoring the taste and everything of this champagne.
If it does, it's really good at faking it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
JK, your attention is not on anything that's going around you. You're just sort of just following this line. You get to almost the back of the room. There's a door, but that's not important. On a pillar, a marble pillar, squared pillar, there is a frame that almost looks like a mirror frame, so it's standing, kind of tilted, with a foot to hold it. It's not a mirror; it's a painting, and it's encased in a glass box. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Something that you would have in a museum.
It'd be like a display.
A display case, yeah, exactly. And it is insanely magical. You're not blinded by it, but you can see this is definitely the source of the magic. The painting itself is called The Dark Sires, and it depicts a crimson red figure, a female figure. She has curves, and you can sort of gauge she has long hair, no face or anything. It's more like an outline, and a even taller shadow of a man behind her. Very ominous. But clearly magical and ordered. Possibly more. It's linked to the pictures. And it probably has normal security as well. So if you touch anything, and there is even a red rope around it, so you would have to lean in if you actually want to touch the glass. It's very I want to say sheltered, but that's not the right word. It's standing here by itself.
I think JK is just gonna go back to the others, but try to stay out of the triangle if possible, like, because it doesn't seem like he knows it's a ward, but he's not sure like what it's supposed to do.
You walk through it on the way here, and
Okay,
the
yeah,
others
then
are standing
he'll just
in it
go-
at the
We'll
moment.
just go back to the others.
Do you turn off your sight or do you keep it on?
Keep it on, just in case.
Yeah. Alex and Killjoy are currently talking. Vaughn is looking interested at a painting. Naomi is also taking notes, pictures. I guess at some point you gather around the Elaine or Vaughn. Are you still gonna just they're gonna deal with it?
Vaughn does wander back right around the time that like the champagne tasting is going on, and just sort of like raises an eyebrow and just walks by, and then sort of just kind of gathers in the general area where everybody is.
There's not many people here aside you from yourselves. There's the older gentleman who's about to leave, and there's staff, and there's Elaine. It is 10, 11 at night. It is late, so it's not unexpected. Even though it's a Friday, people want to get home. And this clientele she would possibly have is quite select. But you gather, and she just looks at you all and waits for you to come to her. She's not gonna go to you.
That's what Alex is going to do because he wants answers. And he's going to approach and give a nod to the old man. Sir.
He just nods back as he
And
passes you.
yeah. And then he turns to Elaine. Darling,
Dear,
why are we here tonight?
to converse with Nathaniel, I would assume.
Of course.
You need to find something, and he is the greatest detective in all of London. And he asked for you.
So I've heard. He hasn't, but he will say so. He nods and smiles, and he says, well, I appreciate that. As I have not, while I have, of course, been made aware of his reputation, I have not had the pleasure of meeting him in person.
Can all of you roll a wit's insight? As you say, pleasure.
One.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right. 1-1 for JK and a lot of 2s. Unfortunately, 2 is not enough, and that's a little bad for Vaughn. This is boring. It's not dangerous at all. It's mundane. It's tedious. You're restless all of a sudden. You really want something to happen. And until something does, you are at a disadvantage at everything unless it's creating some sort of risk or danger.
I need chaos right now. My compulsion.
You can hear your beast yawning in your head. And it affects you.
This place is dead. Oh.
You can all see that he starts to sort
I
of...
start.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
starts pacing.
it's noticeable that he's agitated.
He's restless.
Yeah. Alex is going to turn and go, Vaughn,
Yeah.
what's going on, buddy?
This scene is lame, man. As they would say. Like, what are we
It could
waiting
use a little. It could use a little more color, couldn't it? You know, a little bit more party up in here. Yeah.
It needs more zest. It needs a
Yeah.
lemon squeeze on this shit, man. And he's like looking around like,
It's more like a tomb, isn't it? He's trying to sympathize with him, and he's keeping an eye on him too. It's getting a little bit difficult here, paying attention to all these things. But he definitely doesn't want Vaughn doing another display of his magic as he's already done. At least not yet. At least not until we're quite sure that it's not going to cause further complications. So Alex is going to spare a third eye for Vaughn. Just kind of keep an eye on him and try to keep a handle on that situation if possible.
I'm looking at like a podium. I'm like, I could climb on that. I know it.
Parkour.
There
I
are
can
some
get up
excellent lamps in the ceiling you could do a trapeze from, maybe.
There's a spider up there, and I want it. I need that spider. I'm just like looking at it, and you see Vaughn just like looking at different handholds that are there, and like, oh yeah, the gold frame of one of the paintings. Like, yeah, okay,
Shiny.
make it. I can do this.
He's clearly trying to figure something out.
And he kind of just looks over at Alex. He's like, oh yeah, you get it. Surprisingly, I thought this would be more of your scene, man.
Yeah, no, he can appreciate galleries, but he can understand that this is a little quiet. It's a little dark. It's a little bit, static, as it were.
It's very like the paintings in contrast to everything else.
Yeah.
It's very everything is very bland. It's steel, it's glass, it's white, it's black, and the frames are like ornate and beautiful, and the pictures themselves are excellently crafted. So, but it's probably to create attention on the pictures. But it is boring, Vaughn. It's fucking boring. Nothing is gonna. Maybe a lamp could fall down, but that's a bit hoping for a bit much. Maybe the lamp could get some help.
I can do that. Like,
As
I can do it.
As the old man is walking out, I'd like to do sense the beast on him, just to kind of see if there's anything extra there, so to speak.
Yes, it does not require a rouse. Am I correct?
Okay. Yeah, it's correct. Yes, it's free.
So resolve and animalism.
3 successes.
That is more than enough. He is human.
Okay.
He is tired, exhausted, and actually a little bit sick. You don't know from what, but he seems fatigued.
Okay. He is going to turn to Elaine and comment on the paintings, the arrangement, and what they. And he says, "It's 3 very interesting works you've got here. Arranged as they are, they create an interesting dynamic in this room. I'm curious."
It helps if someone, and she's staring daggers at
Yeah.
Vaughn, wants
Yeah.
to create trouble.
No trouble. Is there a wing filled with, I don't know, actual color, abstract art, some naked people? Is that around here somewhere? Some zest, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Not in my establishment.
God help us all.
Redhead isn't enough.
I have no friends.
You have me.
Oh,
Oh no!
You guys would also possibly notice if you say "God help us all," Killjoy will do the very not mockingly at all, very
Yeah.
happily.
Alex will raise an eyebrow to that. It hasn't seen that before. And then he'll whisper to Vaughn, it's like, maybe some fresh air for just a second,
for sure. Okay. And I look
Yeah.
for a window.
yeah.
There's only the door you came in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have to climb through one of the. They're not open, but they can be opened. The glass ceiling ones.
Vaughn is going to just sit back and listen to the conversation and slowly make his way towards it. Because I have to do, like, isn't that, like, the Ravenous, it has to be the most wild way of doing it. I can't just leave this place. I gotta...
You don't have to act on it. You just really... You're not yourself until you do it or the scene ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now you're just restless and... but you get -2 to all your rolls unless it has something to do with danger. Or risk.
Okay.
All
right. Vaughn's just going to sort of just like edging closer to the window, but not making a big show of it, just sort of going towards it.
Elaine just sort of, she's analyzing you. You almost feel, all of you, like she did in the abandoned construction site. Still with her stone cold expression, and she's waiting for you to continue the conversation or leave, perhaps.
Okay.
She says, yes, Nathaniel did contact me, and if you go see him, please tell him I'm not his secretary. And he should do his own summons. For a slight moment, you feel contempt in her voice. There's not a lot of emotion from her, but she has that angry face, that angry frown all of the time. But this sounds real. Like this is as much she can express, but it's not. She's not feeling positively towards Nathaniel.
Can we have his contact information or where to find him? I was assuming introductions would be made tonight, but I guess that is not the case.
He is easiest to catch while he's working. He's currently investigating some abandoned building close nearby. There was something that happened. I'm not quite sure of the details, but he went to investigate. If you approach him there, then he's probably gonna be more talkative. He really loves his work.
Would Alex recognize that as the aforementioned Crusader
Most likely.
incident earlier? Okay. That Vaughn had made mention of before.
And she gives you an address, and Vaughn, you hear it as you're like sort of leaving. It is that house. You know the place. It's been a while since you've been there. A couple of months, but it is close by, within walking distance.
All right. I kind of keep that to myself.
Yeah, you are on the way out.
Mm.
If you handed in your jacket, it is given back to you. But I don't think any of you did.
No, I didn't.
Since it's not likely that they will be here again anytime soon, maybe I'm wrong about that, but is there any way to, like, for Alex to try to see anything beyond what he's seeing in this gallery? Like, he's looking around. He notices the pictures are arranged the way that they are, but that could just be curation. That could just be, a selective positioning for artistic effect. Is there any way he can kind of roll to see if he sees anything beyond that? He doesn't have sense the unseen or anything.
You don't have to roll, but you're perceptive enough to see that JK was onto something.
Yeah.
Something piqued his interest beyond normal sight.
Okay. Well, then he's going to go over to JK and kind of sidle up to him and not ignoring Elaine, but, just turning around and saying, I'm sorry. I have to talk to...
No worries.
Yeah.
I'll see you another night. If you
Yeah.
have any questions, just ask one of the staff and they'll get me. And she's
course.
starting to wander down to the end of the building where JK came from.
Okay. And he's going to come right up next to JK and go, what are you seeing? What did you notice about this place?
Some sort of ward, most likely.
Is there
Blood
anything?
magic.
Yeah, blood magic. Okay. Can you tell me anything about that? Like, where that's going?
Well, it's not affecting us.
Okay.
We're just stood in the middle of it.
You still have the sight on, and during the conversation, and your crit with 5 successes, it's not just the ward, it's also a summoning circle
Okay.
or triangle. So something could possibly be summoned as a guardian in case of
It's protection.
troublemakers.
Yeah.
In general, it's just protection set up to keep this
Okay.
place safe.
Okay. Safe from whom?
Hmm. Maybe the monks.
Okay.
Naomi,
Would Alex know that there are different types of wards? I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to assume.
If you wanna roll occult
Yeah. I will do so.
and intelligence.
Okay. Two successes.
You know they are, but you don't know how.
Okay.
It could be the ward itself, it could be the one who creates it. You're not quite sure what makes them different, but they are. Some are used for keeping out Kine, some are used really powerful ones for keeping out Kindred.
Okay.
You have been warned about them. So, but you wouldn't actually recognize one until you step in it.
Doesn't seem to be against kindred. Otherwise, I suppose we would feel it. So, yeah.
Mhm, exactly.
And
That's
she
what I'm
did
thinking.
say it's not active.
Yeah.
So maybe she has the power to
Maybe.
turn it on.
Yeah.
Naomi, I think you sort of wander around and engaged all the pictures. You would probably have seen the picture at the very end, the one on the mirror frame with the casing around it, and
Yeah.
you don't
so
know it's
basically,
the source of the magic, but it clearly stands out.
Yeah, it seems to be the focal point of the room. From what she's studying, the imagery doesn't exactly seem pleasant. There's a lot of pain in one of them. There's another one where the women, she's aware that there could be occult associations, but beyond that, even if I were to roll, she wouldn't see beyond what we've already understood. So I go to Alex and I notice, obviously, like she's a Toreador. She can tell when someone has that like almost obsessive trance, and it kind of reminded her. It's not exactly, but what JK did. So like of course he wasn't under a trance, but um, I go to Alex and be like, this is not exactly the most um welcoming display, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be against us anytime soon. Like I think the only thing she can pick up on is that the triangle means it's positioned for a reason. That's it.
And he will respond, just out of character. Can we get like just a I'm trying to remember what the description of that final display was. That was
Wasn't
was
it
by
a
itself.
woman with a dark black shadow around her?
Okay.
Like almost like a dark figure behind her.
And
It was called
Eh.
the Dark Sires.
okay, Dark Sires. And the woman is she's got, would she appear as again?
A bloody
Some
shadow.
red hair.
She's
Oh.
just
Okay.
like a ghost almost of red, where he's a ghost of black behind her on a white background.
Oh.
So almost like she's a part of him,
Yeah.
standing inside him. But very blurry. There are no facial features or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You probably
Alex,
all go to look at it as you're having
yeah,
this conversation.
absolutely. Yeah. That's what I imagine Alex kind of coming up and having that conversation with Naomi, and as she's telling him what she did, what she said, and again, he's kind of trying to assess how much of a masquerade breach this is, but it could just be. It seems fairly abstract, but Dark Sires is a problem. And, it seems to be a problem in terms of that label, that painting. It seems to be a little bit. That's walking right up to the line
Shoot.
there. Yeah.
Johanna, a
Um,
different information for you as well. She has black eyes, and he has
Okay.
red eyes. No one else
Okay.
can see it.
Hmm.
But you wouldn't know that. It's just you. Like the shape of the eyes.
As this is all happening, Elaine walked off, right?
She started to anyways. She's sort of following you.
Killjoy is just gonna follow, just like just to see what she does. He's literally doing it to see if she bugs him and says, why are you following me, or if she's just very comfortable and he's just trying to get a read a little bit and perhaps a conversation, depending on what she does.
It looks
He's
like
just being awkwardly behind her.
she's going for a room or a door at the very end behind the painting that everyone else is looking at. It just seems like a door to maybe offices or a back room or basement.
He will follow until he is stopped,
Uh,
basically.
as she's opening the door, she looks over her shoulder and says, "Can I help you?"
Probably. Yeah. Where does that go?
My office. She
Ah.
pushes the door open. You can see a desk and a PC and some shelves and some filing racks and
Is it tidy then?
very,
Okay.
very organized.
He'll turn around and kind of gesture at the place and go, an odd haven, I suppose. Is it been yours for a long time?
How would Gabriel say it? Don't shit where you eat.
Mhm.
This is not where I sleep, my friend. Unfortunately, you're not gonna know where.
Granted. What is the purpose of this place then? Steel box.
Facade, run a business. Even we need money sometimes. It gives me something to do. I like art. And there's nothing in her voice that suggests that she actually is passionate about anything. And the person who I have an arrangement with the painter.
An arrangement. Might I inquire as to the purposes of this arrangement?
It paints, I display.
Well, what a fine arrangement. I don't know if you know, but I'm also a fan of the arts, though perhaps slightly less dispassionately than you. Perhaps I could, seeing such lovely arts, procure a piece for my own.
I assure you, Mr. Killjoy, my lack of expression is not due to lack of trying.
What is it that excites you then? Truly. It can't be this. You can't live in a steel box with no windows and be happy. So there's something
Excites?
else.
I haven't been excited since a long time.
Yes, you have. It just took the right attitudes, I'm sure. The right fervors, the right feels.
I feel we are kindred spirits. I've had a rough mortal life. It shaped me. And my afterlife has not made it better. If you want to know why Nathaniel chose me, you have to ask him. He's the more talkative, and you really want someone to talk to. It's gonna be a long conversation. She says with wide eyes, actually, talk to my sister. And you can hear the contempt again.
Well, if you ever grow bored of your very apathy, perhaps you should come and have a conversation.
This is my attempt to regain some sort of passion through art.
Well, it's very fun. Very fun.
Are you saying I have an open invitation to your club?
I'm saying that you, like someone else, are absolutely free to drop by, perhaps have a drink, enjoy a more vivid scene. It's somewhat more lively than a steel box. I mean, monochrome is one thing, but you can see the bare girders. There's about as much life here as there is in a petri dish.
But very noticeable, right?
I've literally never heard of this place.
She just smiles at the remark. Trying to, anyways. It's more like a slight in the corner of her mouth. And she touches your shoulder and looks into your eyes. And I would like you to roll a composure and subterfuge.
Composure and subterfuge? Whew, this might be an entire... Ooh, no, 2 dice.
You want to
I was
rouse?
gonna say,
Woo!
Got this.
Believe in
can
you.
Can I gauge her intent at all? Is there any... Have I pissed off this person?
She's just
Yeah.
touching you at on your shoulder right now and looking you into the eyes.
Yeah. He's gonna like freak, and so blood will start to go, and he'll try and stay calm. So rouse check is a success, the 6, and
Oh,
then
you don't need to just subterfuge and composure, unless you're trying. Oh, you're rousing.
Yeah,
Right.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
2 dice more.
2 dice more. Subterfuge, composure, 2 modifiers. Let's go. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Nice.
I'll take 3 successes. And hope it's enough.
Let's see. Unfortunately not. 10 with a crit.
Okay.
She is fucking gorgeous. You are absolutely in love with this woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Total babe, bro.
yeah. She shines all of a sudden, and you pay attention to everything she does. And she was pretty before, but you've just noticed it all of a sudden.
Okay. Yeah. I'm bloody smitten, aren't I? I'm like.
Heart eyes. Yeah.
Stay calm. You gotta look cool to this woman. You gotta be. Yeah. Inward panicking now.
I will have to leave you now. I have business to attend to. And she actually kisses you on the cheek, and you're sort of and she closes the door. And just left there standing with this feeling that, just being near her, even though there's a door, it's just amazing. You're that close to her.
He probably does like not quite like fall against the door, but kind of put the hand and lean the head against it and kind of like she was something, and then slowly start to walk back.
10 with a crit, Jesus. The rest of you're standing in front of this painting, talking amongst yourself. Is there anything you want to do or investigate or?
Can I auspex her?
Her?
Can I see her? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you see Killjoy and her are talking in front of her door to an
I want
office.
to auspex her.
You want to listen in?
No, auspex.
Oh, but which power are you using?
Just read her aura. Oh shoot, do I not have that because I have all presence?
You would need Scry the Soul, I think it's called.
Sorry, I'm thinking of V20.
But you still have heightened senses. Obviously, your sight doesn't work right now. With that, you would go blind. But you can listen in if you want.
Yeah, nah, I was thinking of V20 because I was thinking of auspex.
Yeah.
I was gonna read her aura because I wanted to see what she was feeling.
Eventually.
Distaste.
She could be bluffing subterfuge all the way, but here we are.
Alex is going to lean over to Naomi, and I assume a Killjoy is visible. This whole interaction is visible.
I mean, he has his back to you.
Yeah.
And you can't hear what they say. But
Of course,
they're talking.
And then she shuts the door, and he's just kind of like
she kisses him on the cheek.
Yeah, exactly.
You see the hand gesture. You see his body language completely change.
Yes, exactly.
And the head against the door and everything.
Yeah, that's what's going to catch his attention. He's going to lean over and go, "What do you suppose has gotten into him?"
We'll find out eventually.
He might even like turn around and like whistle and like sling his keys around his finger, kind of like, oh man.
Oh, she was about to summon something, so I don't know if you.
Nice.
Okay.
So, I'm going to try to gather all these wonderful coterie mates together.
Well,
We
Vaughn
need to
is
share
outside.
information.
Except for Vaughn, who is doing the right thing and going somewhere more interesting. But yeah, getting, he's gonna, Alex is gonna walk up to KJ, put his hand around his shoulder, and go, "Let's go ahead and find Nathaniel. What do you say?"
Kind of look back to the door.
She'll be there. Don't you worry.
You know where to find her now.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She's not going anywhere. She'll be fine. Obviously she has things to do.
She won't be fine. She is fine.
She's fine, all right.
Yeah.
Probably not here.
JK, I don't think you're paying attention to that. That's not how I see it anyways. But even though they don't have irises and don't turn, you feel like the eyes are watching you. Of the painting.
Don't like that.
When he notices that, he's just gonna go outside and try to find Vaughn,
Yeah.
who is lost somewhere probably.
The others are close behind you, I think. Vaughn, you're standing outside, just sort of jumping, looking around, and eventually the feeling passes as the others come out, and you feel a bit more calm again and in your own head and in control.
So while they were in there, Vaughn was getting like antsy and he's getting like bored, and he just sitting around. Are there people around? This is kind of like going back a little bit in time while this was all going down.
It's fine. There are plenty of people on the streets. It's Friday after all. People are going clubbing and to bars, and there's plenty of traffic around you. Even though it's not a main street, it's quite well positioned. The gallery, and you're standing on this sort of plaza, small plaza, but
I would like to rouse check, please.
yes.
Oh, how do you roll the d10 again? I apologize.
I'll type it as well.
Oh,
Like that. Sorry, but without the final backslash.
well,
Shit.
I get hungry. It'll be my luck is not very good.
Just remember to add it before the roll.
Yes.
Ah.
So I went ahead. I have 3 hunger now. Oh. And I would like to use Fata Morgana, please.
Yes, I've just read your message. How many senses?
2, please, which means the difficulty will be 3.
Mm.
And would this benefit from awe, perhaps, or no?
I would have eyes on you, and you would have easier time persuading mortals.
Okay.
But definitely, it's gonna help with like everyone's gonna stop and look what you're doing.
Okay.
They can't help themselves.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. So wait. So do I add the 2 modifier for the awe or no?
Not to the Fata Morgana.
Okay. Okay. Come on now. Come on now.
5 is good.
Okay.
No things. You can make it as elaborate as you want. So what do the others see as they come out?
Okay.
As they're coming out, you see a Vaughn dancing. First thing you hear is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
As loud as Fata Morgana allows. And a phone just sitting there. It's not playing. The phone isn't activated, but it's supposed to be an excuse for where the sound is coming from to passerbys. And you see Vaughn dancing with a very attractive Japanese woman wearing 1970s style clothes, and they're just going hard in the paint, like Soul Train dancing, like just right there on the sidewalk, and just putting on a performance.
It is marvelous. He's very good at what he does. Clearly. When you want it all to end, are you just gonna have the woman walk with you, or are you gonna make her disappear out of thin air?
She'll walk with us for a little bit. I'll see them, and just kind of like once the song sort of reaches its zenith and ends, she'll sort of walk with us, and then
I mean, as soon as you turn off all, people are gonna slowly go back to what they were doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once there's a nice place where even she could like mingle among the group once they show up, like maybe walk behind Kairos, and then she's gone. So like a strategic use of awe, so that people stop paying attention the exact moment she disappears.
People are clapping, and you earned a few quid, and
I don't know what that is, but it sounds good to me.
British pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's
It's my bad.
He's like, yes.
I'm using slang, not quite as well as Killjoy, obviously, but it's just
that's fine.
Quit. It sounds like a food. It sounds nice to me. So, so yeah. And I just sort of like, oh hey. What? So what are we supposed to do now?
You good, bud?
I am divine right now.
Glad to hear.
Thank you.
Alex comes up and kind of just, pats him on the back, and he doesn't want to encourage him too much because
Don't stroke his ego.
right, exactly, because
Too late.
I don't need you doing this all the time, because it can go really bad.
Yes.
But just kind of like, okay, I see what you did there. Nice way of handling that situation.
I need self-care sometimes.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Places like that, they just mess with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
High stress situations. Anyway.
Maybe, right. Maybe one of these times we might even get others involved. In the
Mhm.
dancing.
Oh, of
And,
course, of course.
Yeah.
I bet
yeah.
you can cut a rug, Mr. Kairos.
Oh, I certainly can. Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
We could put something together. Something that's really, really spectacular. And
Yeah,
for a
send me
moment,
list.
he stops and he envisions. He's envisioning like the perfect concert with like all the things that Vaughn can do, and the possibilities now when certain technological limitations are no longer a limitation, and the type of sensory experience that might happen there. He doesn't know if that's possible, but
give
it's
him enough
something that's-
blood, and it is.
that's right, exactly. Yeah.
Concept's so good that human sacrifice is required.
Yes, exactly. Could add to the theatricality of it all. So, yeah.
This was the moment the gang realized that I was the most powerful kindred.
Yes. Can I, while they're having this conversation, can Naomi go talk to JK and be like, hey, so what's the down low on the situation?
Well, there's some sort of ward and or summoning circle in there.
Okay. All right. What friend are they trying to bring here? Do you know
No
that?
clue, but the painting was looking at me.
What? What did you see that we didn't?
Eyes.
There wasn't any eyes. What?
Yeah, no, there were eyes staring.
Oh, that thing might. Oh.
Yeah.
You have such a background on that. You can't do anything about it. You can't bring the eyes out. Like, they snake eyes?
No, just like eyes where they're supposed to be, but like hidden in the painting.
Okay. That's unsettling. We're probably gonna have to come back to this place. The only thing
What's the worst?
So that
could
man-
happen?
Sorry?
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I was thinking I thought the guy was here to auction maybe some of the paintings, but since they're magical, I guess, or involved, what do we do? Like, do you think they have a date on when they want to summon?
Probably, or it's set up as like summoning a guardian in case something happens, like those
Okay.
monks that.
So TBD.
Oh yeah, forgot to tell you
Yes.
earlier. The monks, low key. Well, it's priests
Mm.
here for the murder of supernaturals.
Oh, priests. Priests usually mean demons, don't they?
Nope.
Oh, that could be in anything though, right?
Well, we're headed to the building they were in, so
Okay. Yeah, let's go. That's fair. I guess we're done in this location.
So, Alex, of course, still has the car nearby. And unless it's within walking distance,
It is, and I want to ask you a question. Do you want your car outside that building?
no, not outside the building. No. I didn't know how far away it was, so I was going to have like the car take them. But if it's close by, then there's no need for that. And he will just. I suppose there's a phone number or a place where we're supposed to meet Nathaniel. That's where Alex is interested in going next.
Vaughn, you know exactly where it is.
Okay.
That's when Vaughn steps up. Is like, yeah, I know where it is. Remember that thing I told you about Kairos? That,
Oh yes, yes. It seems
Super.
we're going there after all.
Yes. As fate
Yeah.
would have it.
Yeah.
It's. Do you want to do anything before we continue?
Yeah. You know what? That car. He's gonna reach in and grab a few things out of that car, in the form of protection. He's got a couple handguns that he likes. So he's gonna bring those because quite frankly, the description of what was going down at that place did not sit well with him, and he does not want to go in there completely unprepared or unarmed. So, yeah.
Seeing that, Killjoy will grab both of his bags and take them out. And might. It's a weird thing, but being Killjoy, he might notice and recognize the sound of handguns, specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
In a bag.
That's your expertise for sure.
Yeah. You see that Alex shares something in common with you, that he actually has an appreciation for these sorts of things. Probably not to the comfort of Naomi.
Yo, I'm like, oh, we're packing. Whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be fighting something, so we better be prepared. She kind of just like,
Yeah.
I've got my briefcase.
yeah.
Vaughn reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a little 38 snub nose and drops. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And then picks up. He's like, "I got this.
Yeah.
This is what I'll be using."
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Saturday night special.
Yeah.
Saved my life many a
Oh
time.
dear. If we're fearing that this place is to be feared,
Yeah.
it might be worth having a slightly more covert look at it before we arrive on force, walking as we are, packing as we are.
Packing as we are.
Something of a speciality of mine in particularly urban environments, rooftops and the like. I could
What do you-
either bring some of you with me, or I could be eyes in the skies as you do what you do best, and I do what I do best.
Well, then Naomi picks up like, basically the situation will prove to you that we're with you and not against you.
I agree. I've seen your skills before, Killjoy, and why not both? He says,
Yeah, why not both?
Why not both? Both is good. And so he says, perhaps a first look, and then we can do our thing, and you can. Where they say what's the phrase? Cover us, as it were. Yeah. So.
Just to let you guys know, this place is usually frequented by like street folk, homeless people. Like, so you don't necessarily need to go full like Terminator on this place. All right, just throwing that out there.
Are there usually any kindred amongst the people there, or
If they are,
I don't know if we will
I-
recognize them, but
yeah. If there were, I don't remember seeing too many.
if there are, there might not be that many left?
Yeah.
Killjoy nods knowingly.
can I grab my bag with my daggers? Sick.
He'll also get out of bag one a walkie-talkie and will say, "Whoever wants this, take it."
Alex grabs it.
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah. JK reaches for it. Alex grabs it.
She looks over and she's like, "Who's on the other end, though? You?
I assume.
Okay, cool, fair. All
Level
right."
another walkie-talkie in the bag.
Yeah.
You're still on a public street. The noise of the traffic masks your conversation, but yeah, I assume you're not pulling out weapons.
Oh,
No, I'm
no.
not
This
pulling
is-
out
this
weapons
is
at all.
stored, yeah.
hanging out on the sidewalk.
They all look concealed. They are not. Yeah. You don't want this to
I mean,
be.
I'm just
You
grabbing
just
my
heard the
briefcase.
sound.
Yeah.
my bag is a backpack, and my other bag looks like a handyman's, like maybe someone who washes windows.
Hmm.
It's like bright yellow with like a logo of some kind of building company on it, and it's dirty and seen some weather. It just looks, yeah. It doesn't look like a gun bag. It's not like a hard metal case or anything.
So here's what we have. Alex is gonna basically, say this to everyone before they get there. Like, my understanding is we have that incident that Vaughn told us about with the zealots or whatever they are in this place that has been described as mostly inhabited by homeless and other such people in this part of town, a place I usually go. And we also have Nathaniel in the picture here somewhere in investigating this particular scene, and potentially police presence because they were apparently called to the scene as well. So this is what we're walking into, and we need to be prepared accordingly. Yeah. And then he's going to kind of say, do we have anything else, any other information about this that we need to know before we head there?
He'll light walk away from it.
Vaughn's filled up, so we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm feeling good. Oh,
yeah.
do you mind if I drive, by the way?
No. We're just gonna walk. Yeah.
We're
just gonna walk.
Okay.
That's right. And
Are you sure?
we're gonna keep. Yes. Yes. If we need a car, I will call it. And he looks at Vaughn, and especially when he says this, he's like, let's keep this, low key, no flashy stuff right away. Okay. And, as much as I appreciate your abilities in that regard, let's try to play this, subtle until we can't anymore. And get by without incident here if possible, given all the factors in this very explosive equation. Cool.
I feel very inhibited.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm being snuffed out. It's your car. You can do whatever you want with it. I will have you know, though, I'm a very good driver. You can trust me.
I believe you. And you know what? There's a time and a season for everything. And sometimes we need to, the rhythm can't be loud all the time, right? He speaks in musical parlance, it can't be loud all the time. There needs to be moments of lower key, quiet, subtle melodies. This is one of these times. And he's got, so since it's close enough to walk to, he's going to turn to Killjoy and say, okay, do your thing, click, click. He's clicking the walkie-talkie. Tell us what you see, and then we will slow walk in, in very dramatic fashion.
All right.
I assume you're leading the way, Vaughn.
Yes.
You know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was with him.
Yeah, you know where it is. It's a very decrepit area. It's kind of insular almost. It's its own little pocket of London. The buildings are around, even though some are habited, most aren't. It's forgotten buildings, and the building itself is a roofless, almost ruin. There's walls and there's hints of a second floor. But there's a stair to a basement where you've attended quite a few nice parties. Underground, of course. Around the area are a few people going through trash, and they're not paying it too much mind. They're mumbling to themselves, and some of them might be looking at you for a second, but they keep to themselves. It's quite a large building. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. but it would need more than renovation to get it back in working order. The thing you can see from outside is you can see in the building from one of the collapsed walls, and it's just trash, needles, a few roaches, some pipes maybe. Naomi, you don't feel well. Your beast is in your head say, we're not going in there. We are not going in there.
Okay.
Of course you have the control, but that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And as I said, Vaughn, you know there's this staircase kind of hidden behind an old freezer, actually, inside. Killjoy, you don't see any clear shots into the building. I mean, it's quite open spaced, but you don't need a long-range weapon. It's not that large, and if you were to climb on the other buildings, you simply wouldn't be able to see in. So you can't do a sniper thing, but you can quite easily gauge that there's no one in the building.
Yeah. So yeah, Killjoy will have gone off.
And Naomi, you're the only one with heightened senses, unless I'm mistaken.
Probably.
Do a wits awareness and add your auspex.
So they moved awareness around. Hold on.
It's under
Awareness, and then
mental.
what do I add?
Yeah.
I also have my mental on top.
No, your wits awareness and auspex.
Okay. Auspex is different in this one. Yes, okay.
I think it's 2 or 1
Yep.
or something. Yeah. 2. Do you want to reroll? Or
Yeah.
willpower?
Yep.
Then you can reroll the 3 failures.
When does willpower reset, or
You get actually now. If you lost anything, you're either your composure or your resolve. You get back each session. So if you lost anything previously, you would have gotten a certain amount back.
Same shit, different pile. Sorry, man.
Sometimes the dice are not kind.
4.
Yeah.
4 is fine.
Okay, cool. I didn't know you can add them. Sweet.
Oh, you're only supposed to reroll the. You know what? Never mind. It adds to the story. And especially because you're tuned to it. You smell obviously trash. You smell spit. You smell feces. You smell rats. But that's not the most pungent right now. You smell burnt flesh, blood, and rotting meat from downstairs.
Oh. And I'm like, I assume this is wafting from some sort of something that's leading to that area.
Oh, it's definitely downstairs.
Oh, so she's like completely panicking. She's trying to like hold her bag, and like she's like pacing around in circles, and she's like trying to process on like how to send this information to them without it's like, and honestly, she's more worried about them coming out smelling the same way. So
The rest of you in the building, you can smell. It's not as strong, but it's disgusting in here. Naomi, you need to turn it off as soon as you smell it. The from downstairs is so fucking pungent that if you don't, you have to willpower.
Oh, okay.
Your beast is like no.
And they said being a caitiff was a weakness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's shade.
Yeah.
I honestly have sensory issues in real life, so this is actually like pretty real.
What it means right now?
Yeah.
Because of your clan, you get -2 to all social rolls.
Okay. Yeah.
If you because you're super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the smell does not help. You're still in control. Your beast does not want to go downstairs.
Is it visible in any way that Naomi is not feeling 100%?
Are you trying to hide it, Naomi?
I'm trying my absolute hardest. Do I have any Capri Suns left? I probably don't.
Maybe one. I don't think
Okay.
anyone took you up on your offer.
Yeah, exactly. Can I discreetly find an area that is, because idealistically, when we came up to this, I would have wanted to like somehow climb in, but because she's so occupied, I'm gonna try to discreetly consume a Capri Sun.
You're
Just
the only
settle
ones
the beast.
around. You're sort of standing half inside. Maybe you walked inside the building, just looking around at this decrepit junk haven.
Okay, can she like lift her bag and like basically slurp it as quickly as possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
It only takes you a few moments. While she is a bit uncomfortable, maybe. Are any of you doing anything else? Vaughn, you know exactly where it is. It's behind that freezer over there. There's a staircase that goes down. It's not visible unless you actually walk around. It's like a big freezer with a lid that goes up.
And Vaughn kind of just in a theatrical sort of way looks to everybody and says, well, welcome to the dark side of the moon, everybody. And then sort of just shows them where the stairs are. And he looks particularly at the more well-kempt members, because it's very obvious they're not used to being in places like this.
Right. Alex is stepping around the trash.
Yeah.
And like, giving it the look that you might expect. Like,
Did any of you
You know,
bring a
it's-
flashlight? I know
smells
Naomi
like-
doesn't need it, but
smells like something died in here. And he can use the phone, I assume, as a flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Naomi, you can see bright as day in here. So you can
Okay.
see all the disgusting things around you.
Things
But
stuck
that
in
also
the-
means you're not going to step in a needle.
Yeah, she's just looking up straight to the ceiling, being like,
Yeah.
All of you can see, because you are kindred, but it's only shapes. And
Yeah.
yeah. So would I lead them, basically?
I mean, they can see sort of where it's going, but unless you turn on light, you're the only one who can see down the stairs. There are... you can still smell it, even though you turned it off.
Yeah.
All of you can now, that you're that close. It reeks of death, seared flesh, and fresh blood.
Dinner.
Okay.
Am I down there now? Have I come down from vantage point?
I assume you didn't go up to one because you couldn't find one.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I would have loved to split to try and look and find something. And one of the reasons for that is he'd come down different. He would have gone into one of, I'm sure, many various alleys in this place. And he would have got out his change of clothes, and he would have changed and put on his mask, and would have activated the demon eyes and begin to issue some form of daunting aura as well. And so when he rejoined them after failing to find a sufficient vantage point, he is in black and black and black, and he has a red horned demon mask completely over his face with two impish horns going back over, and there's just these like, it's almost like red dot eye that you get on a camera, just a little bit of light, just a pinprick of red staring through the fabric that kind of meshes over the demon eye masks. And he would be talking in a lower register, and he would say something along the lines of, at this point, "I can see fine."
Does that absolute startle
do
the shit
they
out of me?
do they recognize you?
Nope, but he was Silence of Death as well, so they might not have heard him.
All right, I guess wits and insight to actually recognize that it's Killjoy, that this
There's-
demon.
And there's a little bit of posturing, probably, to like, hey, I can do this.
0, 1. Naomi. Let me out. Are you trying to hide that it's you, or are you just you're different?
Oh, I'm leaving it very ambiguous.
Okay.
I am pulling out a femur.
Alex, you have 4. Naomi, you have 3.
Yeah.
You recognize that it's Killjoy from sort of the way he walks, and
Yeah.
you've spent enough time with him then, and you're shocked initially, but you're like, oh shit, that's him, and you're still
Yeah.
kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Vaughn and you had 1, and JK had 0. You're not gonna do anything crazy with that. It's just a passive thing, but there's this demon coming out of nowhere, and you have Dawn, correct, Killjoy?
Yep.
It's super intimidating to all of you. You don't want to be near him right now.
Yeah, no.
Flexibly
JK is like
the,
opening
oh,
his
yeah, go ahead.
briefcase and pulling out a femur. Straight up. Something.
Alex is going to step back. Yeah, Alex is going to step back and think to himself, well, it appears that someone else has an appreciation for theater as well.
Yep.
It's still spooky. Like, it's creepy. It's full on creepy. In the darkness, everything
Yes.
disappears about him except for his demon mask and his glowing pinpoint red eyes. And so it's almost like the mask is floating there all by itself, in the dark. So it's,
And with Dawn, it doesn't affect you the same way it would mortals, but you still feel uneasy being near
waves of like, it is.
him. A mortal would run in terror
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah,
But
it is.
It's not delightful. It's the opposite of all.
It's meant to be intimidating, and it succeeds. It succeeds on that level. Yeah. So, yeah.
Vaughn and JK, are you gonna react you pull out a bone,
Oh, it's a thigh bone.
a thigh bone?
Yes.
So a
Are you gonna
club?
beat him with it?
No, the defensive preparations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Vaughn? What's your reaction to this demon that just appeared out of nowhere?
He like jumps, covers the vitals, you know what I mean? Like, and then kind of like, reaches in the pocket for the gun and starts backing away to the if there's a window that he can jump out of or something like that.
Killjoy just says like 38 snub nose, right?
Oh, you're only gone for like 30 seconds.
Needed
How'd you
somewhere
get
to
all
drop the
that?
bags.
My
God
character
damn.
just throw up. 'Cause she's like so overstimulated, and then she
Capri
like
Sun!
even, yeah, she like pukes up at least like a quarter or half of it because she's like can't look, the sensory of the smell, the rotting flesh. There's a fucking demon, and like she can't. She's distracted. She can't pull out her fucking daggers. She wish she could, but here we are.
It would fit. Your beast is not happy.
Yeah.
It is your clan bane to when something is not aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And this is not at all. You're not the most sociable person right now.
Yeah.
So it would make sense to be a bit awkward.
Alex is going to see that and come over and try to reassure her. And okay, the demon's on our side. This place is absolutely
Fucking
revolting.
Killjoy.
Yeah.
The bitch.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, and he's going to like, he's going to.
If he does that
reassure-
again, he's gonna taste my blades.
Agreed.
He says
And I
that,
won't
trying
e-
to like.
I won't even
conceal
stop you. Yeah. A little
What time
warning would have been
Killjoy's
nice.
just like standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, she looks to him and is like, "Well, do you have a second mask? I need something to like cover this."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess you
Please.
don't, so it's fine.
It's like, this place is fucking revolting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not happy. She's
Yeah.
like basically paralyzed to some degree.
He is going to encourage Killjoy and whoever else to
Yeah.
lead the way for once.
Yeah.
And Alex is going to kind of
She
hang
basically
back
just
with,
points to the
with
direction.
Naomi. Yeah, and basically he's going to hang back with Naomi and
He also he has red beast-like eyes beneath the mask. That's the only thing glowing as well.
Yeah.
Something
image.
Alex, you would actually recognize it. It's usually something a gangrel would
Yeah.
do.
Mm.
Mhm, yeah. It's
those
a creepy
eyes.
effect.
Yeah.
He's quite imposing with the dawn and the eyes and the mask. And Killjoy, it has the usual effect.
Yeah.
And
You
he'll just-
succeeded.
he'll have the eyes just turn and settle on Vaughn, and just linger on him for a half second.
And he's just like,
You're also hard to read
Yeah.
because it's only the eyes that's visible.
Yeah.
And even the voice is a bit muffled.
you know, I can help you out with that if you want. You know what I mean? Like, do you want a cape? You ever seen Spawn? You ever seen Spawn?
No, like that big shadow that
Yeah.
follows around like a
Yeah.
cartoon character, like
Yeah.
even more.
And he looks back at me like, you know, like. But
Y'all can shake hands. Can we get the hell out of here?
I second that. Yes. Please, let's do what we're here to do. He truly says, Killjoy, if you would, please.
Looks
Scare the
back and
shit
then
out
just
of whatever
walks-
is
yeah.
down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Starts to
Before
walk, steps making those sounds again.
Yeah.